A brand new Universal Studios theme park is coming to the UK, and some of the talks that Universal are currently in could hint at some potential rides we might be getting at the park. Another theme park here in the UK has been up for sale for quite some time now, rumours saying it's going to be bought out by a slightly familiar company, and the brand new roller coaster coming to Alton Towers has very suddenly been completed. And thank the Lord it's not actually the shortest roller coaster in the world. It's been a strange week because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Welcome back to the series that gets at least one fact wrong every week. This past week in theme parks, where we take a look at the news at theme parks at the past week. And there's been quite a bit of news this time round, so if you do want to skip to specific stories, be sure to use the video progress bar chapters below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, and be sure to go and pre-order some merch for the second batch coming in January. Link in the description. With that pushed aside, it is now time for the news, which there is actually less of this week, even though I made it sound like there's so much. But with less news, that means we have more time, which means we do not need the quick fire segment today. I know, please do not shoot me. So let's begin over in Florida in the US of A, because a whole heap of news has come out of the parks just in that state. Universal's Epic Universe has been expanding, or it will be, because it hasn't happened yet, and it's going to be getting bigger in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, because much like we all suspected, the brand new expansion is now located within area P905, which is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. 150,000 square foot addition. Could it be a broomstick ride? I'm going to fly around on my broomstick right now. Or could it be something completely different? We'll just have to wait and see. Universal have also been bidding to acquire Warner Brothers rights, which we'll get back into later, because that story could account for so many parks, including the one coming to the UK. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay have been very busy removing their log flume, which did close a few months back now. Still no idea what's going in that place. And many very exciting things are happening over at Walt Disney World, because not only is Frozen Ever After reopening in February 26 with brand new audio animatronic updates, like that ride needs a little bit more than that because it's the shortest ride ever. Not only is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin going to be reopening with new gameplay and character at Magic Kingdom in spring 2026, but Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is finally reopening at the Magic Kingdom as well in spring 2026 as well. Refurbished and reopening with new magic at Magic Kingdom. Too much magic. On top of that, Bluey is coming to Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World as well. I genuinely thought that happened like 2 years ago, so I'm a bit confused by that. And I'm also confused why they look inflatable, but we move on. And probably the biggest news coming out of those parks is the fact that Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets will open in summer 2026 after it closes in spring 2026. So they're giving it only a few months to do this refurbishment. I'm kind of worried. Although I guess Rock and Roller Coaster isn't the most heavily themed ride of all time. Now you're just going to launch off and all you're going to hear is Kermit the Frog here. I'm very intrigued by that, alongside the Encanto ride. Then in the past week, they shared a full video showing the site of the ride and the fact it has officially gone vertical. I was about to say this is a good sign because they're building it quickly, and you know, since it got announced not too long ago, they'll be open in 2027, not too bad. But they teased this back in 2023. And it's still taken 4 years. Why, man, Disney, please speed up. Also across the United States of America, Kentucky Kingdom have announced that they're going to close their 5D cinema. At Six Flags Great Adventure, the replacement for Kingda car, I'm still crying, is progressing nicely with the coaster support now being on site. And it does look to be a Mack Rides coaster. I'm not a support enthusiast. That might be wrong. I'm just going off of what other people said. But talking of Mack Rides, another company called Marc Rides have unveiled a brand new multi-dimensional spinning coaster concept called Power Pivot, which has the most blatantly obvious AI concept art and looks like one of the weirdest and worst rides known to man. And dipping down to Brazil at Cacau Park for our weekly update there, you can see a lovely blue coloured track with brown supports, Vekoma inverted coaster that they are building, and this looks very, very interesting. Although I think Instagram translated the announcement wrong because it reads, photos that will make you chill in the belly. Nice one, Instagram. And that's North and South America completed. Genuinely, there is not a lot of news from anywhere this week, but the ones we have got are still very exciting, such as the fact Dreamworld in Australia have just opened tech rehearsals for their brand new Intamin gyro swing King Claw, replacing an old gyro swing called the Claw. And yeah, this ride has soft opened, so if you do visit the park before the 12th of December, which is when it officially opens, you might be able to ride it. Maybe. It does look very, very cool though, and I am very excited to get our own Intamin Gyro swing in this country next year. Hopefully opening in spring, not December. Popping to India now, I mentioned last week that there was a brand new theme park opening with India's first B&M invert, and as you can see, on its opening day, it didn't go very well. One thing you don't really want to see when you're about to get on a roller coaster is two men with a massive spanner just working on the track. Oh, it's good to go, don't worry. Well, I don't know what was going on its opening week, but it's good to see once again that India has a theme park of this magnitude. And as we move over to China now, they no longer have a roller coaster of a sizable magnitude because it's officially been announced as removed, and it's actually a clone of a very famous UK roller coaster. Chimelong Paradise in China has an exact replica clone of Colossus at Thorpe Park, aptly called the 10 inversion roller coaster. And this coaster has operated since February 2026. And what's very interesting about China that I actually didn't know until the past week, so here's a fun fact for you. China has a rule where every single roller coaster that is built has a 15 to 20 year expiration date on it and has to either have its track completely replaced, the train already replaced, and if not, be completely removed, which is absolutely mental. Can you imagine that in the UK? We wouldn't have half of our roller coasters. But the very famous 10 inversion roller coaster in China is shutting down, which is a real shame. But the rumours do say that the coaster will be removed to make way for a brand new ride. The same dive coaster that they already have in the park, just moved a few meters into the 10 inversion coaster space. I guess the hit dive coaster called Dive Coaster will live on. Moving over to Europe now, where we're actually heading to Romania. I feel like we haven't been there in this series yet, so much like Czech Republic last time, welcome Romania to the best series on earth. But they are going to be getting a €1 billion entertainment, retail and technology destination with a theme park called Dracula Land. Didn't know we were back in Dark Universe in Orlando. The park will be near the capital of the country, and it'll have all these different like retail entertainment things, like I've said. And will also include that 780,000 square meter Dracula Land theme park with 6 themed areas and more than 40 major attractions. I don't know, there looks like there's going to be some big coaster and some big rides, so I'm intrigued to see what happens there. Over in Germany at Belantis Park, that's turning into Parc Asterix, or Asterix Park Deutschland to be precise. They have now shown concept art for 4 new flat rides and a mini Flume that are going to be coming to the park with a meet and greet space and a dining spot, and that's going to open next year. Over to Denmark now in Legoland Billund, because there's yet another clone of a UK roller coaster, or 2 UK roller coasters, this time that's being built and is now testing. The pink and green versions of Minifigure Speedway were caught testing at Legoland Billund, and they look exactly the same as the one in the UK, just a different colour scheme. And now you can officially say that Denmark's first ever dueling roller coaster has begun testing and is going to open in 2026. Disneyland Paris itself has now become the first ever theme park in Europe to introduce vibrating vests that are designed to enhance the experience of shows and various like things around the park for deaf and hearing impaired guests, and I think that is amazing. I love covering accessibility on this series, and I really do hope that this goes out to more parks than just Disneyland Paris. This is a great thing to see, and I really hope we see more of it in the future. And we have landed back in the UK, where we have some interesting news going on over here. We're first of all up at Alton Towers, the brand new Bluey roller coaster in CBeebies Land. Last week I was talking all about the fact that the track for the lift hill, and then obviously just that sort of crest over the top, had been completed, and it looked massive, and there was some station work going on, all that good stuff. They have now completed the rest of the track layout in literally a matter of days. And as much as it's now clear they were going for the world's shortest time to build a roller coaster, they definitely weren't going for the world's shortest roller coaster, because the layout has now been complete. We can see the whole thing, and it is a lot longer than we originally thought. When we first saw the plans and saw that it just went up the lift, round, and then back into the station, it looked awful. But now it seems to go down the drop, do a little hill, and then go around these helixes, and then make its way back to the station. A lot longer of a layout, which is great. And it seems long enough and tall enough that it might not actually have to go around twice, which might help the queues. I can't lie to you, that ride is going to get very busy on its opening day. As much as that has been fully built in front of our eyes, no more rumours with that one. There is a big rumour coming out of a theme park in the UK that has recently been up for sale. And if this rumour is true, it could be really good for the park. If you weren't aware, quite a while back now, Lightwater Valley was put up on sale. And usually when a park's put on sale, it's very professional and very hidden away. Lightwater Valley was directly on Rightmove. Imagine just scrolling, oh, I want to buy a new house. Oh, 3 million for a theme park? Let's buy 2. It was very interesting to see that, but a rumour has now come up about who might buy the park, that being the Mellors group, who do actually own Fantasy Island here in the UK, and even run the likes of Winter Wonderland Nottingham, Skegness Pier, and Nottingham Beach City by the Sea. But let's focus mainly on Fantasy Island, because that's the biggest one out of them. I think this would be quite big for the park, because the Mellors group do put a lot of time and effort into Fantasy Island, and have put some really good investment into that park, so it'd be nice to see that for Lightwater Valley. But I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, because it's a rumour. Definitely not confirmed. So don't go out thinking we're going to get the new world's tallest Vekoma SLC at Lightwater Valley. But I do hope that happens, because it would be very, very nice to see. And what would also be nice to see is what Universal Studios have been cooking up in the background. Of course, if you somehow don't know and you've lived under a rock for the past 2 years, there was a huge rumour about a Universal Studios theme park coming to the UK in Kempston, Bedford, which was then officially announced, and construction has been ramping up, with some new site offices going up and a lot of roadworks taking place around that field, and also where the flyover is going to be for the roads coming into Universal. Lots has been going on at the site, so if you do want to keep up to date with construction, subscribe, because I'm going to be covering it as in-depth as possible when it starts ramping up even more. But there's been some talks behind the scenes with Universal Studios that could be quite big for a lot of their parks, including the UK one. Now obviously there was that huge ordeal about Warner Brothers, and of course Warner Brothers owning Harry Potter. Would Harry Potter come to the UK? It's already here at the studio tour, what are you on about? Or would there be rides and attractions themed to Harry Potter in the UK theme park? It seems like that should be the case, because that's where it originated from, and it would be one of the only parks to not have Harry Potter. But then with Florida, does that make sense? It's a whole story. We've spoken about it multiple times, and it seemed like Warner Brothers and Universal Studios had that sort of discussion, and it was seeming like it would maybe happen. But out of that has come something very, very interesting that I don't think a lot of people were expecting, because Bloomberg reported that Warner Brothers and Universal were in early talks regarding DC being in the parks, and that would include creating new areas and attractions devoted to the DC universe. Now if you don't know who is in the DC universe, the main ones you can sort of list out are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and obviously all the villains that come with those characters. And we've seen theme parks, especially over in America, all the Six Flags parks, theming loads of their rides to DC universe characters, but now Universal are in early talks to do it at their parks, and they're going to do it on a lot bigger scale, and definitely on a better scale too. Now obviously this could just be for one of their parks. Maybe they want to replace the Marvel comic area in Islands of Adventure with an updated DC comic version. Maybe they want to add new areas to different parks, maybe Epic Universe, who knows. But the biggest opportunity they have to make a sort of DC universe attraction or themed area would be if they were making a ground up theme park, building a brand new one. What are they doing in Bedford? Making a brand new theme park. And with the concept art that we got shown quite a few months back, that will have probably changed drastically by now, and some of the rides and stuff might not even exist anymore. Some of them might be changed, different, who knows. I wouldn't put it past Universal to make an area in the UK theme park themed to the DC universe. We know British people are quite fond of that franchise, and we also know that people around the world would travel to the UK if that's the only place it existed. Because if they built a dark ride on the level of some of the ones at Epic Universe, but DC, that would be insane. Once again though, that is in early talks, so it might not even happen at all. That's the fun of this past week in theme parks. I could report on something one week, and then the next week, Universal, no, they're not building DC anymore. They're now building a Minecraft area that they've stolen from Chessington. You just never know. And if you want to keep up to date on all of the news, much like what I've just spoken about, and even keep updated on where that story goes, then subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Oh, and be sure to go and check out the merch. Link in the description. Thanks for watching.